Okay, this is another one we're going to do. Robin asked for. She asked for a lot of these, but these are the two that really struck me. This is the last one we're going to do, and it's a really good sing-along, and I know everybody in here knows it. And if you don't mind, I would really like to turn this into church for just a moment. I know my heart needs it, and I'm sure there's some other folks out here, their heart needs it as well. So, this song is just, Will the Circle Be Unbroken? And I feel like it won't, you know? The circle being unbroken, that is. you better put some smiles on your face, alright? We sing songs of our childhood, hymns of faith that made us strong. Ones that Mother Maybell taught us. Here's old Jesus tell that they sing along. I said, circle the unbroken, by and by, Lord, by and by. There's a terror from a baby born in the side or in the sky. There'll be a circle, the unbroken, by and by, Lord, by and by. Oh, there's a terror from a baby born in the side or in the sky. There's a circle, the unbroken, by and by, Lord, by and by. There's a terror from a baby born in the side or in the sky. Jacob George, we love you with our hearts content.
Let's hear it again for Adam Cox and the Jacob George Memorial Band. I hope you all will stick around for a while longer. We have some other folks that want to speak. Real important, close to Jacob, close to the family. Oh, so heartwarming and moving just to see you all here on this occasion, just holding each other and just keeping the vibe. Really, really, really important. Hope we can do this for a long, long time to come in Jacob's memory. I met Jacob's cousin, Stephen Koger, in 2004. He produced the Peace on Earth Music Festival at the University of Arkansas. Some of y'all might remember that. I think I rained out, actually. But it was a hell of a lineup. In 2009, he told Humps and I, said, man, you won't believe this, but my two cousins, are going on this ride, you know, and it's just going to be amazing. You know, they're just going to, and I was like, oh, a ride? What kind of ride? You know, and he explained it to me, this idea that Jacob had shared with him, the vision that he had. And it wasn't until about 6 months or 7 months later that I actually got to meet Jacob and then later Jordan. But Stephen is in India right now, and actually he was the one who phoned us when we were in New York to tell us that Jacob's passed. And he wrote a poem, and I'd like to call Berta up. Berta actually has this poem recorded from Stephen from India, and I think Kelly, if he's willing, somebody threw a guitar in his hands, and Kelly swears he doesn't know how to play the thing, but you know what? I never saw an instrument that Kelly couldn't play. So I'll be surprised if we can't put this one together. And Berta, if you could come up and just whenever you feel like you want to start it, put the phone to the microphone, and I think let Kelly start it a little bit. But this is Jacob's cousin, Stephen Koger, and his poem.
He just sent me this morning and said that somebody was going to read it for him. Two children in a circle in the yellow daisies, the butterflies, the dragonflies. The cicadas sing even though it's a cool morning. The dude's just gone. We've been released to play. Jacob will be free on Danville Mountain. He knows his way better than me. I'm just 6 and he's 2 years old. He holds my hand saying, well, when I'm afraid, we meet a logger. That's why I cut down our tree. To be my family, I take their air, the air they breathe. We were silent. Children witnessing Jonah's common sense and silence. We meandered on, found the crafting man digging holes, attempting poison accident. He also had hopes of losing his kids. Yes, the beat-up got a foot in their water, relaxed, tackled. He turned to me, that fire in his eyes. I'll bet some folks think, what will make peace? Something is because Thomas will be the elbow of Thomas. Tell us what we just seen. We bear rolled downhill like little children in the snow. Miss Thomas had a poof with white hair like a halo, and she flowed with stories like the flooded Paging River, carrying turtles and trees. These old guys hurting your planet to make the rich richer out of you growing their own. She breathed in her skunk cigarette burned orange in the carport shade like my daddy's kerosene heater when it heats up. Growing our own okra and tomatoes, live in community with each other in the land. I sat on the steps beneath her, looked out past my cousin in the gravel driveway. Jacob squatted, he never took his eyes off me. She took one more sucker and said, all right, y'all, get on home. Get coming. Mamas are gonna work. She rose and disappeared. The door slammed in the swinging darkness. Left her cigarette on the steps and we split it, but half behind our ears. On the ride home, my chain came off. Jacob said, I could fix it, but if we ask Mr. Barrett, Mr. Barrett will make us cookies and tea. So we had cookies from a tray and tea with big ice cubes. And Mr. Barrett got the 22 and we shot some cans and said our thank yous. And then like ghost climb, we pedaled hard up Danville's Mountain and Thomas sandwiches and peanut butter pie. Part 2, growing. You came back with it 20 years later from downrange with muscles. Tracking boys that reached from earlobe to elbow. We didn't talk about hunting activism. We didn't talk about your war stories. We played music though, and soon enough we talked about peace and war and earth and family, and we played more music. And our moms and our dads and all clapped and tapped, and now I'm grown and I'm traveling alone, and my sister just phoned, and I just learned you'd flown from your body, you'd flown, and I see the world, I feel her fever. She's like a sick child, cousin, Jacob. You brought love like a pull away a washcloth, and we sang her songs like we were the mother. And now you've left me, and as I care for her, I'll listen to you in the cicadas' song. When the log truck stops in the silence of this forest, I'll pour libations to you when I kneel to drink from Peeler Gap's stream, and waking up with a lover, I'll whisper stories of our time in Danville, and I'll sing Johnny Appleweed, and I'll hold your cackle laughter in my heart's ear. And every misbehaving, overexcited kid, I'll see the trauma-touched misfit looking for their healing in their tribe. And in some years, I'll be an elder, rocking chairs, recalling you as the sunset rolls past and the moon exits the stage lamp. I'll ask someone to strum until I sing you a song. It won't be long till I go back home. And if heaven is real, I hope we ride by again. And jam with Betty Sue, and replay the highlights from the Akashic records and shoot songs with Mr. Barrett and mix against Miss Thomas and all the things. Meanwhile, dear cousin Jacob, we will carry on the work. With your songs and your spirit like feathers in our hats and wings, we will roll into peace. like Arkansas winters, flowing into spring.
Stephen had messaged me on Facebook saying, hope there's some way that he could see this. And I said, Stephen, we got one where it's going to be videotaping this. He said, yay! So he'll get to see some of this on the replay. Next person up, very dear to Jacob, was Jacob's professor at the University of Arkansas, who really helped Jacob hatch that seed of coming back to who he was and what his vision was and what he had to do on his journey. And he talked to me when I first met Jacob about this professor at the university and how he just admired him and it just meant so much to him. Anyway, Nick Copeland, I hope you can say a few words. Nick came all the way from Blacksburg, Virginia to be here.
Such an amazing community of people that, in many ways pre-existed Jacob and also were transformed and touched by Jacob. It's amazing to be back in Fayetteville and to see so many familiar faces and so much love and so much support and so much of the beauty that was sown by Jacob. I was teaching a giant anthropology class with like 300 students, and one day this kind of punk rock hippie student comes into my office and says, "Your class is really interesting." I'm really into it, and it's really making me think about a lot of things. I want to write an ethnography. I was like, okay. I haven't finished my ethnography yet. I was like, well, what have you done? And he said that he had done 3 tours in Afghanistan, and obviously that was really interesting to me. I studied the effects of counterinsurgency warfare on civilian populations in Guatemala. And so we began to talk, and we began to think about things, and he said, one thing that your class helped clarify for me was that what I was trained to be and what I was trained to do by the U.S. Army in Afghanistan. And I said, what is that? And he said, I was trained to be a cultural assassin. And we began to talk, and we began to explore these ideas, and he had been doing, as I learned, counterinsurgency work on the Afghan-Pakistan border for several tours, and he talked about the kinds of things that he did, how money being introduced into a rural village, and how weapons and how they transform social relationships, and we wanted to talk more about these things, not just academically, but also politically, and what it meant to him to be participating in those things.